everybody, and welcome back to Life Full of Zest. Welcome to our final day of our full week of Pilates. I hope you've enjoyed the sessions up until now, and I hope you're ready for today's sequence. We are going to run through a full Pilates, full body workout that focuses on a number of different sequences that have been requested from our different subscribers. We've had requests to focus on some inner thigh work, as well as some modifications for those of you who are struggling from wrist pain as well as neck pain. We will still go through the normal sequences, however I will be showing some modifications for those particular requests from our subscribers. I hope you're ready, and we are going to be starting standing up, so let's get into that position so long. Before we begin, those of you who are struggling from wrist pain, I just want you to make sure that you do have a medium-sized table near your mat, so that when we do get into those different movements that may hurt your wrist, you can get straight into using that table. And then also we're going to be using a little loop TheraBand today. If you don't have one, it's really okay. You will still feel that burn. You'll still have a good workout. So don't worry if you don't have one. We're going to be able to go as normal regardless. So let's get straight into it. I want you all standing in the middle of your mat. I want you to stand on your right leg, lifting that left leg off the ground. You're going to lengthen through that spine, drawing those scaps comfortably down your back, allowing a crisp and proud posture, sucking in that core, sucking in that pelvic floor. You're slowly going to maintain a good slight bend in that right knee, making sure that knee is not falling in. You're going to inhale, and on the exhale, slowly lean back to toe tap, and inhale, exhale, lifting back into a high knee, bringing your arms into T position. Inhale, exhale, toe tap, bringing arms in front of you, palms facing each other. Inhale, exhale into high knee. We're going to do 5 of these. We have 3 more. Inhale, exhale, toe tap. Inhale, exhale, high knee. Inhale, exhale, toe tap. Inhale. When you're doing these lifts back into the high knee, I want you to lead through your heel. You're going to inhale, and on the exhale, you're slowly going to lean forward into a Superman position, a Superman hold, and you're going to extend that leg, lengthen as much as you can, allowing your arms and legs to be parallel to the ground. Slight bend in that knee and keeping it stable. We're going to hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting back into that high knee. From here, you're going to inhale, and on the exhale, rotate towards the left-hand side, keeping hips facing forward, rotating those shoulders, and keeping those elbows and wrists in line with one another. And rotate. We're going to do 4 of these. Inhale, center, exhale, rotate. Inhale, center, and exhale, rotate. And back to center. Inhale, leaning forward into a Superman hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lifting back up, and just doing some ankle rolls in that right ankle that we've just used. You should be getting a nice deep burn down the bottom of your calf, as well as into your glutes and core, if you're maintaining that good crisp posture. All right, let's get into the next position. Same thing, lifting that right leg off the ground. We're going to lengthen through that spine. We're going to suck in that pelvic floor, and we're going to inhale, and on the exhale, slowly bring arms in front of you and lean back into a toe tap, and inhale, exhale into that high knee. While you're doing this also, again, just remember to make sure that those feet are facing, those toes are facing forward, those knees are facing forward, and the arches of your feet are staying in a nice crisp position as well. You want to lift those arches. I don't want to see you flat-footed. So very important that you are putting an equal amount of pressure along the balls of your toes as well as your heel, while reaching and lifting the middle part of that arch in your foot. And I have lost count. I think this is our last one. Inhale, exhale back into that high knee. And we're going to hold into that Superman, leaning forward and extending, lengthening that leg, getting a deep glute activation in that right glute. Leaning forward, you're almost leaning your body forward towards the wall in front of you. And you're gonna hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, exhale back into that high knee, arms in a T position. Inhale, exhale, use that core to rotate towards your right hand side. And inhale, center. Exhale towards your left. And inhale, center. 2 more. And right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. And inhale, center. Slowly leaning arms forward, leaning into that stabilizing foot, extending forward and holding, lengthening those arms, lengthening through the spine. And we've got 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale back into that high knee. And we're going to just roll out that ankle. You should be getting that burn into that lower calf, into those Achilles, glutes and core. We're going to walk all the way to the end of that mat. We're going to lengthen through that spine, open those palms, open that chest. Inhale, exhale, slowly roll chin, then chest and shoulders down towards the ground, getting into that rounded C curve, allowing your body just to fall. So you can bend those knees if you want to, if you have to, but also I want you to get a nice stretch in the back of those hamstrings and just fall for inhale and exhale, slowly walking your arms towards the middle of the mat, rotating the pelvis out towards the ceiling and pushing your right heel into the ground while you bend your left knee, and you're just stretching out those calves. They are tired and fatiguing from doing that work, so we're just going to stretch them out before we begin. And we're going to rotate towards the other side. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And walking yourself down into an extended push-up position. And those of you that struggle with push-ups, you can just drop those knees in. You're still going to do the same movement, but we're decreasing that lever to make it slightly easier. Those of you who can, we're going to lift our knees. And we're slowly going to do 5 little push-ups just to get those muscles warm. And inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Last one. And we're going to lower and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and inhale, up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending those knees in, and we're going to bring our right foot towards the outside of our right hand, and we're going to lift into a lengthened position. You're going to tuck that pubic bone under that belly, and you're slowly going to lean forward into that front knee. While we're doing so, I want you to lift your left arm up towards the ceiling, and I want you to imagine that it's reaching, allowing a stretch down that left part of your back, and you're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly leaning back down, taking that right foot behind you, lifting that left foot next to your left hand, stacking that vertebra, and slowly leaning into that left leg, tucking in that pubic bone, allowing a stretch down the front part of your hip. And you're going to lengthen that arm and reach, almost pushing your ribs towards the side to allow a stretch through those ribs and through that front part of your hip. And we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're slowly going to come back down, and we are going to get back into those all fours position. We're going to extend that left leg, and you're going to lean across midline, leaning into that right glute, and I just want you to use the back part of your foot that's on the floor, to rock yourself forward and back, allowing a dynamic stretch into that right glute. And we're going to do 3 more of these, and 1 and 2 and 3, and slowly inhale, and on the exhale lifting up into a Superman hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dropping down, extending that right leg, inhale, exhale, bringing it across midline, leaning into that left glute, and using your right foot just to rock yourself backwards and forwards to get a deep stretch into that left glute. We've got 2 more, and 1 and 2, and slowly lifting back into center, extending that right arm. Remember, even though this is a simple basic movement, it shouldn't be too easy if you're activating properly. So I want you to feel that activation. Use your core to stabilize that pelvis. Use your glute to lift that leg, pointing that toe, making sure your neck is neutral, and you're keeping it in that neutral position, but you're imagining there's someone with their hand here, and you're just pushing yourself through that hand, as well as almost pushing yourself away from the floor, opening that chest, and bringing those gaps down the shoulder. And we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming down and leaning into that rest position. We're slowly going to turn over into a seated position. In the seated position, those of you who can, I want you to rotate your right leg out and around to bring your heel towards your glutes, and then you're going to tuck your left foot into your groin. Those of you who struggle with a range of motion like that, all you have to do is just sit in a widened crisscross leg position. All right, so from here, leaning in towards your left hand side, you're going to bring your right hand over, and you're going to reach and extend, creating a little rainbow movement with your body. And I want you to push your right ribs towards the wall next to you. While you're doing that, you are pushing your left glute in towards the ground, and you're going to inhale and exhale. Keep going, and inhale and exhale, and we're going to breathe in, and when we breathe out, we're going to reach around, creating another circular motion with our hands, and following into lean towards that right hand side with our left hands. And inhale and exhale. Keep going, everybody, and pushing both glutes down into the ground as much as you can. I want you to emphasize that left glute pushing into the ground for 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center and changing over legs. So those of you who sat with the crisscross position, just bring that outer leg that was outside on the inside, and you are ready to go. The rest of you, you're going to tuck your other leg behind you, tucking in your right foot into that groin area, leaning into that right hand side, and extending left arm over, pushing that rib out towards the side, and reaching and lengthening, and inhale and exhale. Keep going, and deep breath, and exhale, and last deep breath, and slowly reaching around in that circular motion, allowing that right hand to follow, pushing that right glute into the ground, reaching across, pushing those ribs into that wall, and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming back to center. I want you in a seated position in the center of your mat. From here, we're going to extend our hands out in front of us. We're going to extend our legs, and we're going to inhale, and on the exhale, roll down into a lying position. Just make sure that you're tilting that pelvis as you're rolling down activating and controlling with that core, pointing those toes and extending arms overhead and slowly bringing them back towards your sides and bending those knees and placing your feet comfortably on the floor. We're going to do a few little warm-up movements before we get into our actual sequence. So let's just get those muscles nice and warm before we start the more exciting stuff. Let's inhale, and on the exhale, suck in that pelvic floor, roll that pelvis up towards the ceiling, then those hips. Remember to keep control through this movement, digging those heels into the ground, sucking that belly towards your spine, and you are going to dig those heels to get that hamstring activation, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to extend that right leg, aligning those knees and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that right leg down, extending that left leg into tabletop and extending those knees to align and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that knee, dropping that foot, lifting those hips to slowly roll back down. When we get back to that neutral, remember what neutral is, keeping that alignment between that imaginary triangle between your pubic bone and your two hip bones and having that natural lumbar curve while still maintaining that activation. And deep breath in, and on the exhale, rotating that pelvis towards the ceiling, then lifting those hips and just controlling through the bottom of that spine up towards that upper back and squeezing, making sure those knees are tucked in and in line with your hips. And we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, squeezing as much as you can, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to lift that right leg into tabletop, extend it up towards the ceiling, and I want you to just point that toe and lower your leg down towards the floor, and you're going to hold here. Tuck in that pubic bone, squeeze. You got to work a little bit harder to maintain the positioning of that pelvis and hip height. And let's hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to tabletop, dropping that right leg, lifting that left leg, extending it up towards the ceiling and lowering it down, pointing those toes and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting back into tabletop, dropping that foot, lifting those hips to slowly articulate through the spine back to neutral. You're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lift those legs into that tabletop position, sucking that belly down towards the back, not flaring those ribs. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting arms up towards the ceiling, and you're going to single leg toe tap just to warm up those abdominals, and toe tap left. That's 3, inhale up, exhale toe tap, inhale up, exhale toe tap. And let's do 2 more after this, and making sure when you are toe tapping that pelvis is not moving. And now we're going to do double leg toe tap while the arms lower at the same time. That's 1. We're doing 8. As I said, we're just warming up and preparing those muscles for what's to come. And let's keep going. Let's do 3 more. And exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, slow controlled movements, getting that good quality of muscle activation. And last one, and you're going to extend legs out and lower, bringing arms into a T position or next to your sides, and you're going to hold for 5, lengthening that tummy. I don't want you bracing, I want you to suck in. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're slowly going to bend and lower and lift and bend and lower and lift and bend and lower and lift. Keep going, bending left leg into tabletop while lowering that right leg, bending right leg into tabletop while lowering that left leg. And let's do 4 more. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and lifting legs back into tabletop, arms in a T position. You're slowly going to roll both legs and ankles towards the right hand side, allowing that shoulder to stay onto the floor, looking towards that left hand and holding for 3, 2, inhale and exhale. Bring legs back to center and rolling knees back towards the left hand side, looking in the opposite direction and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lifting back up to center. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lift those legs into an extended position, drawing that belly down towards your spine, and you're going to hold for 10, drawing and holding. We're stabilizing that pelvis, keeping that core tight, but please don't brace. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, left leg into tabletop while right leg lowers, lifting back up, and same thing. And that's 3, making sure that your pelvis is stabilized. And keep going. Let's do 2 more on each leg after this one, and that's 1 more on each leg. And we're going to hold for another 10 seconds. Those of you who struggle to keep those legs straight, you can bend. Otherwise, we're going to hold and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bending knees back and hugging them towards your chest to rest. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are slowly going to turn over onto our left hand side. Just remember, when you're lying on your side, just to have that crisp posture, elbow comfortably under your shoulder and activating, not allowing those ribs to slump into that into the floor. I want you to then extend your legs, making sure hips, knees and shoulders are all aligned. You're going to take your top leg and you're going to place it comfortably in front of your mid thigh of your lower leg. From there, I want you to lift and lower this bottom leg. If you do struggle with a bit of pain with that pressure, pushing that hip into that floor, get a pillow or something just to support that lower hip. Otherwise, you can just fold your mat slightly to support that lower part of your hip. All right, from here, stacking those hips and those shoulders, you're going to have just a light forward lean. You're going to lift and lower that lower leg. While you're doing so, I want you to make sure that your ankle is flexed and your toes are pointing towards a wall in front of you. And we're going to do 8 of these, and we've got 4 more. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we're going to do little circles towards the wall in front of us. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and backwards, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lifting that leg and bending and extending that heel towards your glutes. While you're doing so, you're going to point your toes towards the wall, towards the side, and let's do 4 more. Remember not to slump into that shoulder. I got a little bit lazy there by slumping in. Just remember, you want to keep a nice crisp posture. And last one, and we're going to extend that leg, point those toes towards the wall in front of you, and you're just going to do little pulsations for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering that leg. We're going to bend that bottom knee, extend that top leg. We're going to extend our arm, and we're going to lift into a side plank position, extending that top leg and lifting it up towards the ceiling, placing the other arm comfortably behind your head or in front of you, and you're slowly going to do knee tucks into extension. And 1 and 2 and 3, keep going, and 4, squeezing that glute while you're extending. I want you to challenge yourself to see how high you can get that knee. I don't want you dropping there, but if you have to, I understand it is a little bit tiring. Let's do 3 more, and 1 and 2, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, with little toe taps towards the floor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and slowly bending that leg down. Those of you who struggle with elbows, with wrists, we are going to come towards the table. I'm going to do that set 1 more time. So I want you to also, same thing, crisp posture, leaning into that elbow. You are going to push hips forward, and you're going to do exactly that same movement. The only difference is you are in a comfortable position, placing the elbow onto that table instead of the wrist onto the floor. And those of you who don't struggle with wrist pain, you can continue as normal. The rest of us are going to do another set in this position, lifting that arm up towards the ceiling or behind your head and pointing those toes and toe tap up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and we're going to hold for 10 seconds before we do our chest touches. And 10, 9, that was a little bit of a tongue twister. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, into our knee tucks. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and slowly lowering down. We're going to turn over to do that same thing on the other side. All right, let's get into that position on the floor. Elbows comfortably under shoulders, knees and hips all aligned. You're going to extend that lower leg, placing your other foot in line with your mid thigh, stacking those hips and those shoulders, and pointing those toes towards the wall in front of you. You're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lift and lower for 8 counts. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and circles forward. And 1, 2, core tight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and circles back. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and lifting that leg and bending those heels and extending back. And 1, pointing those toes towards the wall to the side. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, pointing that toe back towards the wall in front of you. And we're going to do little pulsations for 10 counts. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and slowly dropping down. Those of you with wrist pain can go ahead and rest your elbows on that table. The rest of us are going to lift up into an extended plank position. We're going to open that chest and we're going to lift those legs, core tight, hips forward, other hand behind head or extended towards the ceiling, and starting with our knee tucks. 1 and 2 and 3. We're doing 8 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we're going to lift and lower, lift and lower. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, keeping that hip aligned. 6, 7 and 8, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lowering down. We're going to do that set one more time. I'm going to do the modification for those of you with painful wrists. The rest of you can continue as normal. We're going to place that elbow comfortably on that table and keeping those hips forward, activating that lower glute and lifting that other hand either behind your head or on your hip. You're going to extend and we're going to start with those toe taps now. And 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 into knee tucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, keeping that knee height. 5, challenge yourself. 6, 7 and 8, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly leaning over onto your backs. We're going to stretch out those glutes that we've just used and then progress. For 10, right ankle on that left knee. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Changing over, hugging that knee towards your chest and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you have a band, we can put that band around our knees. If you don't, it's okay. You're still gonna get a great workout. Those of you that struggle with wrist pain, I want you to remember that you do have this table here and you're going to be leaning into your elbows rather than into your wrists. The rest of us are going to continue with our hands on the floor. We're going to start with our legs comfortably in a slightly extended position. Feet are on the floor. You're going to inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to lift your hips up towards the ceiling for 10 counts. 9, 8, 7, squeezing those glutes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lowering down. We're going to do 3 sets of those 10 seconds. I'm going to do the second set in a modified position, extending and lifting those hips and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lowering down and extending. One more time, lifting up and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lowering down. We're going to lift our hips up towards the ceiling. We're going to keep our knees at a more of a 90-degree angle when doing so. You're going to bring your feet a little bit closer towards your glutes. You're going to inhale And on the exhale, lifting those hips up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, bring our knees away from each other, then back in. And 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with little pulsations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and slowly bring those knees in to slowly roll back down. I'm going to do the modification for those of you with wrist pain. We're going to lie comfortably on our backs. So you're leaning about midway down your back. You're going to have that edge of that table below that area, and you're going to interlace your hands behind your head and keeping those elbows in the periphery. I want you to make sure that your scaps are comfortably in contact with that table, lifting those hips, and you are slowly going to inhale, and on the exhale, open those knees and bringing them back in. That's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Making sure when you are opening those knees that those hips aren't dropping, and you're tucking and you're maintaining that pelvic position and bringing that pubic bone towards your chin. And we're going to open those knees and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with little pulsations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And slowly lowering yourself back down. Those of you that did put a TheraBand on those knees, you can take that TheraBand off. And we are in a seated position in the center of our mat. I want your hands facing the wall in front of you, and you're going to lean into those arms. I want you to lean quite away back into those arms. So you're going to bend those elbows and shoulders facing forward, and you are slowly going to, so there's not too much pressure into your wrists now. Those of you who are struggling with your wrists, you're going to lean into this position. The rest of us, we're going to stay up here. We're going to extend our legs. We're going to lean back into those arms, and we're going to rotate our knee, mid-knee towards the center and up towards the ceiling, and we're going to lift and lower, pointing those toes. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And from here, we're just going to do mini circles, lifting and bringing ankles to midline. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And last little push, we're going to rotate our knees in, lean up a little bit more forward, bring our hands towards our knees, and we're going to bring our knees towards our chest, touching our ankles, and then extending. That's 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, and slowly leaning forward and hugging those knees towards your chest, lengthening that spine and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to get back into that position. We're going to do that set one more time. Keep it up, everyone. You should be getting a nice burn into those inner thighs as well as into that lower core. Let's get back into it. Fingers facing the wall in front of you and leaning into those elbows. Those of you, like I said, with those elbows on the floor, I'm going to do the modification for the second round, and we are going to rotate those knees up towards the ceiling, those inner knees, and we're going to lift and lower, and 1, 2, keeping those legs straight, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and little circles, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and slowly leaning up and extending, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and hugging those knees towards your chest and holding, lengthening through that spine for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to place your hands facing that wall in front of you again, and we are going to lift ourselves into a reverse bridge position, holding that position, activating those glutes, lifting those hips towards the ceiling. You're going to lift right leg into tabletop. You're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lower that leg to toe tap, and then extending and lowering. That's 1. Back to tabletop, toe tap, and straight leg lower. That's 2. We're doing 6 and 3, keeping that hip height, and 4 and 5, last one, keeping that hip height, and 6, and dropping that right leg, lifting that left leg, and tabletop toe tap with straight leg lower, and inhale up, exhale toe tap, and inhale down, and that's 3, inhale up, exhale toe tap, inhale up, exhale lower, that's 4, and 2 more, and inhale up, exhale toe tap, inhale up, and last one, and slowly lifting and lifting those hips to slowly lower yourself back down. I'm going to do 1 more of those. The second set, I'm going to be doing the modification. For those of you who struggle, we're going to comfortably lie our backs on the table, core tight, lifting those hips, and toe tap with a lower. And I want you to place your elbows comfortably in that periphery of your eyes, and making sure that your hands are interlaced behind your head, and you are keeping that hip height. And let's do 2 more, and lower, and bending and lifting. And I hope those of you who do not have a table at home are still doing the second set. That's 2 and 3, we're halfway, 4 and 5, last one, 6, and back up, and slowly lowering yourself down into that seated position. We are going to lean back into our elbows. We're going to extend our legs out in front of us, drawing that belly to spine, lifting those knees and ankles up. We're going to inhale and drop our feet towards the right, and on the exhale, round our feet down in a circular motion back to center, and inhale right. We're going to do 6 of these on each one, making sure we're not bracing while we're lowering. That's 3, stabilizing that pelvis, and 4 and 5 and 6, and lifting. We're going to inhale, fall towards the left and circle around, and lift and circle around. That's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and back to center, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly bending those knees, placing feet on the floor. We are going to turn over onto our tummy. We're going to extend our arms overhead in front of us. We're going to make sure that our neck is in neutral, and we're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lifting our legs up towards the ceiling, lifting our arms up towards the ceiling, and we're going to rotate our palms towards the floor, and we're going to squeeze our scaps and elbows towards each other and extend, and we're going to do 10 of these. Exhale, bend those elbows, inhale, extend, core tight, that's 2, and extend, and squeeze, 3, and extend, and 4, and extend, and squeeze, 5, 6, and we're going to hold for 10 seconds, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and rotating those palms to face each other and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly rolling back down. We've got one more set of 10 seconds. We're going to place our hands on our sides. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lifting head, neck, and chest off the ground, keeping our legs on the floor, activating our core, squeezing those scaps, and squeezing our hands into the sides, looking just in front of you. You're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending arms overhead, lowering yourself down, and lifting into that rest position, extending your arms in front of you, leaning your glutes into your heels, and allowing that body to stretch, resting that neck, pushing those shoulders into the ground. And we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Walking over towards your left hand side and allowing that right hand part of your ribs and body to stretch, leaning those armpits into the ground and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walking over towards that left hand side to do the same thing and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, lifting into an all fours position, tucking in those toes under your feet, lifting your glutes towards the ceiling, rotating the pelvis out, pushing those back of those knees towards the wall behind you. You're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walking your hands towards your feet, allowing yourself to rest in that rounded C curve, and we're going to count to 10, and in that 10 seconds I want you to take deep breaths in and out, but while you're doing so, you're slowly lifting yourself back into a standing position, slowly, one vertebra at a time, towards that good posture. And 8, 7, reaching and lengthening, 5, 4, 3, 2, and opening that chest. Well done, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that session. We had some new exciting movements with some modifications, as well as with that resistance band. I'm looking very forward to tomorrow because apparently we are allowed to go running. I hope you are doing the same and keeping fit. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so that YouTube can notify you every time I upload a new video just like this one. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video, and stay tuned because we have an exciting video coming up tomorrow morning.